Welcome into the Hop. My name is Steven Humes here with Gabriel Apria. Welcome back.
What's happening,
Friends,
everybody?
We are here for another week of drinking. We are your weekly drinking buddies. Thirsty Thursday. What's happening, people? Welcome to it.
So pumped for this one. This was another one. I feel like we say this a lot, another one on the books, but we featured this brewery once before. They didn't get their own episode, and they are more than worthy of getting their own episode. So we are here for round 69, drinking Modern Times. Modern Times beering, Modern Times beering, Modern Times beer. So pumped. It's very good. We got some interesting beers to drink.
Yeah,
Two
Modern
on the
Times.
docket.
Okay, so Modern Times has been on our show twice now. This is their third time, which might be the first time we've ever said that. They were featured on our ciders episode, which is way back when we were podcasting babies, round 6. And then we featured them again on round 16 when we did our What's in Our Fridge episode, because let me tell you a little secret about me, a little peel back the curtain. What's in my fridge very often? Modern Times beer, because their beer is great and a solid go-to when you're out in California.
There we go. They're out in California.
And that they are. And they make great IPAs. And so we're not going to drink IPAs today, but we are going to feature them, give them their own episode, give them the respect they deserve here on the Hop. So
they were due. It's time.
They were definitely due.
Yeah.
So follow the show at the HO Podcast on Instagram and Twitter and all those things that we say every week. If you haven't engaged with us on there, you really should. We are very active on social media, very good about responding to people, and we love the conversations that we start with people on Instagram and our DMs, on email. You can email us, the HO Pod, different things like that. If you have beer suggestions, if you have brewery suggestions, requests, things you want to see on the show, you want to see us do a cider episode, a seltzer episode, I don't know, make the request. We'll do it. We're very responsive to that. So hit us up. You can watch the show on YouTube if you want to see us smiling and drinking and whatnot, see the breweries that we're visiting. I usually have them behind me on the Zoom. So check us out on YouTube. And most importantly, you can follow the show on wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google. You can subscribe on there and you can rate and review. And that is the most important thing. If you rate and review the show, we will love you forever. And it will mean a lot to us and help the show get better over time. It'll help improve the show. And you could be like, I helped improve the Hop Craft Beer Podcast with my review. So do that. Take advantage of that opportunity for you.
Connect with us. As we always say, we're here for you guys. Just let us know. And we'll make these episodes better and better every single week, every Thirsty Thursday.
All right, we're moving on.
Beer news.
Pretty light week in beer news this week. We have seen some positive steps in the right direction. Data is showing that consumers are more willing to return to on-premise drinking. That means drinking in bars and breweries and different things like that. People are getting vaccinated, people are getting the jab, and they're getting more confident going out, and we're seeing it in the data. Some in-person festivals have been announced. I was reading about WeldWorks today has announced their 2021 festival will be in person, among others. Taprooms are reopening, and according to the market research firm CGA, the most popular alcoholic drink right now for people is beer. So fuck yeah. That's our bread and butter.
Exclamation point.
That's what we're all about. We love to see that. Yeah, screw water. Am I right? Who needs water?
I said
Grab a beer.
alcoholic drink.
Oh, well, yeah, still.
First story for us, 67 Degrees. A good friend of the show has been on the show. We love them. You can listen to their episode round 50. But 67 Degrees Brewing, as of April 14th, they've been partnering with Barmore, which is a restaurant out of Newton, Massachusetts, to raise money for social justice. They're raising money for the Massachusetts Immigration and Refugee Advocacy Coalition. So they've created an exclusive beer line, $4 per pint. So the beer is $8 to purchase, $4 per pint. So 50% is being donated to that agency, the Massachusetts Immigration and Refugee Advocacy Coalition. Whew, that's a lot of words.
Oh, yeah.
To support the protection and integration of immigrants and refugees into the community. The beer itself is called Hop and Lockstep. It's a single hop IPA made from Idaho 7 hops with pleasantly zesty character that is supported by notes of pine and black tea, apparently. So it's a collaboration between the restaurant and the brewery to raise money, and it's really cool. You can get the beer at the brewery or at the restaurant or at a number of locations that are participating. So if you're a Massachusetts listener and want to support, check them out. A spokesperson from the MIRA, the MIRA, I've said it twice already.
I was just about to say, yeah, try powering through that.
I don't have a third one in me. A spokesperson said in a press release, immigrants and refugees play a pivotal role in the food and beverage industry throughout the Commonwealth. This collaboration shows that our community continues to be resilient, creative, and still stands strong through a global pandemic. We are incredibly inspired by this collaboration, and we are looking forward to many more in Newton and beyond. So we love to see beer making a difference, beer for change. We've featured a lot of them on the show, and it's great to see a brewery that we've featured in the past and that we love very much, 67 Degrees, getting involved. So if you can get your hands on that beer, the Hop and Lockstep, check it out.
Love me some 67 Degrees. Today, Thursday, April 22nd, is Earth Day. And Lawson's, our good friends from Vermont, are celebrating with plans for a 495 module solar canopy at its brewery and tap room in Waitsfield, Vermont. They already have one. It's in place, providing about 10% of their energy, which is really awesome, but they're going to have a new canopy over a covered parking area, and it's expected to be a huge game changer. They are partnered with Sun Common, an industry leader that has been providing solar energy to solutions in clients in Vermont and New York since 2012. It's a huge deal, and they're really looking forward to doing it. As I mentioned, what they have now is 10% of what their electrical needs. The new parking canopy will be 495 solar module and will deliver over 215 kilowatts of power. The covering parking area will feature 2 long rows with spots for over 40 vehicles and 10 charging stations for electronic vehicles, adding to the 4 that they already have, which is free of charge for customers. They are a leader in sustainability efforts, as we mentioned once on the hop already. Their new solar installation is part of their Green is Grand initiative. They are also one of the lead sponsors for Green Up Vermont, as they have a variety of initiatives in place, and this is all leading up to Green Up Day on May 1st. Lawson's coming through with some sustainability efforts and a lot of solar energy. This is going to be huge, and I would love to see some photos when it is all said and done.
Yeah, among other things too. I mean, in line with that Green Up Day, they're also giving their employees April 30th off for 3 hours paid time off to go pick up trash and stuff. And like you said, they're big in sustainability anyway. It's a big part of their initiative. They have their SIP, which I forget exactly what it stands for, but their SIP project, which is a whole number of sustainable environmental initiatives that they have going on at the brewery. The solar module is just one example of it, but it's really cool to see them adding another one there. And of course, you know, Vermont's the Green Mountain State, right? You gotta keep it clean for Earth Day, especially for Earth Day.
That's right. Go help the earth. Go outside and pick up some trash.
And finally, I'm not going to play the drop, but we have a This Week in Gross update, and this is important, people. We have obtained the tomato basil from Four Quarters Brewing. It's been obtained. It's in hand. We have it, and we just need to go get it. But it's in our possession. And Gabe, as promised last week, will be drinking the tomato basil in a YouTube video on our channel. So another reason to get over there, subscribe, and click that bell, because when we put it up, you will get notified. And that'll be really fun for you.
I'm pumped. Listen, I think it is going to be gross, but you know what? I'm here for it. I said I would try it. I'm sticking to it. I don't know. Are we able to get that other one, that pickle one?
Oh, we have the pickle. We have the pickle and the tomato.
We're going to do the pickle and the tomato. It's going to be
and of course, we are both doing it, because I wouldn't let Gabe do this by himself. And
my man.
So I'm going to be right there with him. And you could look forward to that on our YouTube. No promises as to when exactly it'll be up, but it will be in the near future.
If we get 50,000 likes on our next Instagram post, we'll shotgun them. We need 50,000 though.
You heard it here. Make it happen, people. Make it happen.
Once that happen now, we'll be like, ah, crap.
This Week in Gross. This is the first time we've ever reckoned with a This Week in Gross beer on, well, it won't be on the show, but it'll be on our YouTube channel, and we're facing it down. We called them out, and now we're going to put our money where our mouth is. So
why not?
Look forward to it. Gabe, I propose that you propose a toast.
I propose that I propose a toast. Here we go. May our friendship never fail. May we always be kind. I'll post your bail if you post mine. Our enemies never drink. Our friends always do. So let's drink this drink and tell between the two. Modern times.
You'll post my bail?
Bro, I got you, bro.
Thanks, bro. That's pretty expensive, but
what'd you do? Wait, how much is the bail? Wait a minute. We'll talk about it later. We got to figure this out.
Oh, okay.
I only have so much money.
It went to a weird place. Let's go. Look at this pretty little beer I have here.
Look at this guy.
It's not a glass of wine. It's a beer. And we're kicking things off with the Fruitlands Rosé Sour. So they have a Fruitlands Sour. This is a rosé version of it that they did last year. So it's 4.8% ABV. IBUs, they have it at 30. Beer Advocate has it at 87. Untapped has it at 3.74. As you can see on the YouTubes, if you're watching me, it doesn't even fit on the SRM chart. It's a wine color. It's a beautiful reddish, almost looks like rosé, I'd say.
I was just about to say that. It looks like rosé. It looks like juice.
A deep rosé too, like deep pink, like very reddish scarlet color. We're not talking Whispering Angel. We're talking like a nice like vibrant kind of ruby color.
Yeah, a ruby for sure. It looks like a ruby that you'd find on jewelry.
Yeah.
It's that awesome.
This beer is interesting. The fruits in here are cherries, raspberries, cranberries, and lemons. And I'm excited for those lemons. That's a nice little twist. The malts are 2-row white wheat and flaked wheat. And the brewery's description, Fruitlands is tart, fruity, and frighteningly delicious. The sour, salty base beer lays down the funky refreshment, while generous additions of cherries, raspberries, cranberries, and lemons transform the whole thing into a wall-to-wall fruit fiesta. It's a marvelous mix of elements that collides with your mouth like a fruit-filled asteroid of flavor, traveling at the supersonic speed of party.
I have one word, and that word is yes. Because it looks like all of that, but it smells like most of that.
Now, I mentioned Modern Times is, I know them for their IPAs because they do this series, and we'll get into what they have on tap, but a lot of times what I'll see around California when I go to various beer stores is Modern Times beer that sort of says the hop that it's there to feature. You know, it'll be an IPA, but it'll say Hazy Galaxy or Hazy Nelson, right? Or it'll say like, is it a hazy or a West Coast, and what the hop feature is. So they're big on that, and I really love those. They're really solid, go-to beers when you just you don't want to have
for something specific, you can just go grab it.
Just to hold you over, it's like a nice, it's perfect for the what's in your fridge episode. It's like a perfect, but this is something totally out of left field for me because it's not something I would normally try from them, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I remember picking this up and seeing this and just the description, and I said, this is something new. This is something different. And so here we go. I have a fun little Tiku glass. I think it's perfect for this type of drink. Right off the nose, fruity and funky.
Cranberry juice, like total cranberry juice. Plenty of tart, plenty of bite. I mean, the fruit is there, but the cranberries really come forward to me because there's that tart, the yeast esters, fruit punch.
A little salty as well. It's hidden, but it's there. And yeah, it's got all of those flavors kind of wrapped up in one big, like,
Yes. And what I love is, so going back to that description I read, they say the sour, salty base beer lays down the funky refreshment. They don't say what the base beer is, but based on that description and what I'm smelling in here, I would say it's probably a Goza. So we don't have confirmation on that, but if I'm correct about that, then we're working with a Goza that then they added all these additions of these crazy fruits on top of. So it's going to be refreshing, thirst quenching, tart, but luscious in the mouth.
Yeah, and I'm here for that. That sounds incredible. I love that.
100%.
I've been, I've actually had a few friends send me posts from breweries being like, "This is our spin on this Goza, that Goza," and so I'm kind of like still in the Goza mindset. So this will be perfect, even though it is not specifically called that. It's the Rosé sour, but I'm very excited for this. It just looks so good.
Yeah, and a Goza is if you're someone who likes sours especially, but I like Gozas because they're not like puckeringly sour. They're not so tart that you just like sour Skittles sour. They're thirst quenching, they're refreshing. They are tart in the way that cranberry juice is tart, but they are also very I don't know what another word to use. They're very refreshing in the mouth, very, pleasant to drink. So
fruitful, inviting, invigorating.
Are we playing a word game now?
Let's do your turn.
Wheat.
You ready to try this?
I'm ready. I just want to say there's a yeastiness to it and a wheat on the nose. Like when I smell it, I do get a little bit of bread in the background. Those flaked wheat malts that they put in there definitely come through on the nose. I'm now ready to drink it. Let's do it.
All right. Down the hatch. Here we go. Cheers. Steven.
Yes.
So I'm going to make a very bold claim.
Oh boy. Okay.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. And if you don't agree with me, you can come find me. We can talk about it. Out of all the sours we've had on this show,
I knew that you were going to, I had a feeling this is where you were going.
Number one, right here.
Your favorite.
Right here. Yeah. It's incredible. That I was expecting sour, like off the taste. It is there, but it's so refreshing and fun. It's not I feel like every other sour or Goza we've had, I've always needed like 3 sips to quote unquote get used to it and kind of go, okay, put the sour behind me. What are the flavors? I'm getting everything right off the bat. I mean, it is refreshing. It is fruitful. It is a little hoppy. It's got a little bit of that in there, but it's not, it doesn't make you don't have to drink it 4 times to get everything. Everything is right up front, and that is why I'm choosing this as number 1 sour for me. It's so good.
I think I agree completely. I think it's absolutely delicious. It's very well balanced. I think whatever that base beer is, which I'm assuming is a Goza, is very, again, refreshing, lively in the mouth, zingy, luscious, and it's thirst quenching, and it tastes great. And then flavor-wise, I don't know that I'm getting cherry or as much, but my predominant fruit, I mean, the raspberries come through. You get notes of like strawberry, cranberry for sure, and the lemon is definitely there. And the lemon is the curveball that adds, again, another bit of tartness to it and helps balance it out so it's not sweet. It's not overly sweet.
I was going to say strawberry, but I didn't know if I was crazy, so I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I think it's there. I think it's definitely there. I feel like when you say lemon, I agree. I don't know that I'm tasting it going, oh, there's lemon in there, but it's more of like an afterthought, but it's definitely there. It definitely adds to the tartness of it, like you said. Like it definitely works.
This tastes like strawberry lemonade to me. And it's that sweet berry flavor riding a wave of sort of tart, zingy bite. It hits the back of your palate. It is very thirst quenching. It's very and this tastes okay. One of our sponsor FNX Fitness, we love them very much. Quick shout out, not sponsoring this episode, but it's fine. I bought the strawberry lemonade pre-workout from them.
I've been drinking got him to get it. Yes.
And I've been drinking that before I go to the gym. This tastes exactly like that.
It does.
Like that's why it's strawberry lemonade.
Yeah. It's very, very similar. It's got all those flavors there. It's really I feel like if you don't like sours, this might be a good introduction. Because it's not that soury. It's more of just a specific, peculiar taste in a good way.
And I think that's why I like it so much, because it is again, it's that Goza thing. It's kind of like a wheat beer with a little bit of tartness to it. It's almost like if you added some flavor to like Shock Top almost. I mean, not really,
right,
but a little bit. There's that weediness to it. It's an easy drinker for sure. It's perfect for the season, perfect for the summer weather.
Oh yeah,
it's crisp. It's clean.
This is a outdoor barbecue. This is a sitting on the front porch watching the sunset. This is night swimming in the Mediterranean Sea with your friends, and you're being chased, and then all of a sudden, sorry, I'm in my own imagination, but you know what I mean. Like, this is the summer chill drink of choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Put me on a boat in a lake, on the back of a boat in a lake with this beer in the summer weather. Who doesn't want to be
on a boat in a lake? I want to do that. Do you have a boat?
No, but
damn it.
I wish I did. Yeah, I think this is absolutely delicious, really well done. And just in case anybody cares,
I don't have any more.
In case anybody cares, according to the can, this beer is vegan. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but
can you imagine
we've confirmed it from the can.
We have vegan hops, but it's like very specific.
I suppose that like beers with lactose in it maybe are not vegan.
Yeah, that does kind of make sense.
Isn't all beer vegan? Maybe I don't understand vegan.
But they're the only ones who put it on the can, and they make it very specific.
And that makes it count.
And that makes it count.
Modern Times Brewing was founded in 2013. They began as a 30-barrel production brewery in the Point Loma neighborhood of San Diego, and they still have a tap room there to this day. That is the tap room that you see behind me. And the reason I went with this picture is because it's got beer and you can't really see it. Coffee. See that? There you go.
There it is. Because that's part of in the way.
That's part of their whole thing. As I shift everything. So this is where they started, and they now distribute throughout Southern Cali, Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, Utah, Hawaii, and the Pacific Northwest. So the founder was Jacob McKean. He was a home brewer. He's a former employee of Stone Brewing, and he wanted to do his own thing. Make it modern, if you will. See what I did there?
Modern times. Yeah, they're really... I feel like they're more on the bigger side of things. They're more of like a slowly getting into like the giant corporation type deals. They've expanded. They've got a growing barrel program. Hell fucking yeah. They've got new brewery, new tasting room locations. They've got several restaurants, each serving, you guessed it, vegan cuisine. They have locations in LA, Portland, tasting rooms in Oakland, San Diego's North Park neighborhood, restaurant, tasting rooms in Encinitas and Santa Barbara, and a brewery / restaurant / cafe / swim club megaplex in downtown Anaheim. Steven, grab your trunks. We go swimming.
I've been to their spot in downtown LA, and I forget what exactly they call it. It's got a funny name. All their locations have fun, funky names.
Just based off of like the website and their description of who they were, or who they are, they seem like down to earth, chill people. They really love to have a good time. They make all these jokes and whatnot.
The fact that you said that all the food in all the tap rooms is vegan makes me think, okay, the beer is vegan, yeah, obviously, but maybe the identity of the brewery is like maybe they're vegan, which is cool for them.
Yeah, I haven't seen a food menu, but I can only assume it's
readily available.
Yeah.
Oh, you know why? Yeah, because we went into this place for dinner and my dad was with me, and so when we realized it was vegan, we had to leave because Papa Humes don't do the vegan thing.
Yeah, you gotta get that good stuff.
But the spot is called the Dankness Dojo, and it's on Olive Street in downtown LA, and I have been in there. It's a beautiful spot, and all of their locations that they have, all the ones that you just mentioned, have like funny names. Like this one's called the Loma Land Fermentorium. Their North Park location is the Flavor Dome. I could go on and on. The Santa Barbara is the Academy of Recreational Sciences.
Oh, wow. Fun. They're getting scientific. Almost.
So, yeah, it's a very cool operation, a very hip operation, like you said, very like laid back, down to earth. And we've alluded to it a few times. They also have coffee. And that sort of began as a pet project and now has turned into like a whole thing where there's Modern Times coffee and it's a whole big part of their operation, you know?
You can get a subscription to the coffee. You can get different coffee every month. They also have cold brews available. It's like a whole program they have. It's really incredible. And we've seen a lot of breweries have beer and this and that and coffee. And I can only assume coffee is, for maybe a potential hangover the next day. Or
they go hand in hand. The coffee brings you up, the beer brings you down again. And also, for someone who's interested in the process of brewing, it makes sense. It's another agricultural product that it turns into a drink made from, that one's made from a bean as opposed to a plant. But it makes sense. They go hand in hand. Modern Times also ranked 16 on Beer Advocates. They did a list of most popular breweries for 2020. The list was cultivated based on number of rankings, so it doesn't really mean... I mean, it's sort of like Modern Times was the 16th most reviewed brewery in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool and it's good, and it means people are out there reviewing their beers. The number one was Treehouse, which...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Does it make Treehouse the best brewery in the world? No, but does it mean that Treehouse has a lot of people that try and review their beers? Yes. So, take it for what it's worth. They also,
they're on the popular side. It makes sense.
Yes. Modern Times also, as of 2017, became California's very first employee-owned brewery. So this is one of those New Belgium situations, employee-owned beer, given power to the employees.
Yeah, if you go to the site, you can see all of their beautiful faces. It's great.
Yeah, so a great operation, great sour.
I just love the name comes from... Okay, so apparently Modern Times back in the day was a utopian community that was built on Long Island in 1850. I don't know if you know a lot about utopian communities, but I fell down kind of a rabbit hole earlier, and it's pretty interesting.
Do tell.
But Jacob McKean, the founder, says, I chose to name the brewery after Modern Times because I'm fascinated by the colorful, ambitious little pockets of history that develop in the folds of progress, the forgotten little paradises that barely register in the onward rush of civilization. Utopian community is basically like... I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's basically like a cult without being a cult. Like, it's kind of like their own little community, and they're based off of their own ideas and what they want. So for Modern Times, it was made by people who thought they could demonstrate to the world what a more perfect society might look like, until eventually bigwigs from New York City moved in, overran it, and now it's Brentwood, New York. So...
Sounds about right.
Jacob and his crew and his ideas decided to move to Cali, chose Modern Times, and they've been kicking it ever since.
I think we've talked about it on the show. I've sort of gone down a cult show rabbit hole of the last couple months, and so this sounds like something that could start as a great idea and could end
with you looking at some interesting articles.
Yeah. But all of their beers are named after utopian experiments or mythological utopias. So I don't know what Fruitlands is.
Fruitlands was started in Massachusetts. I don't have a lot of info about it, but they were kind of just on it's the same idea. They had their own little world and they had their own little ideas, and that was it. But it started in Massachusetts. That's all I got. I was unable to find info about the second beer, so I figured we'll just gloss right over it.
Well, the Fruitlands is a phenomenal go. I don't know if you can, like I said, this is a rosé version of a sour that they have on tap right now. I don't know if you can still get the rosé, if it will make another appearance in the future. I have no idea, but it is a delicious, really well done, really well balanced sour. Not too tart, just enough tart to like quench your thirst, leaves your mouth clean, refreshed, ready for more. It is a perfect balance. And like you said, if you're someone who, wants to get into sours and maybe you can't for one reason or another, this is a nice way to sort of dip your toe in the water.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with all of that. And it's got a kiss of tartness. It's really not that like puckering, like, oh man, it's sour. Like, it's not going to give you that at all.
No, that's what I was saying about Gozas though. That's exactly the thing, is like it is tart. But I almost prefer the word tart to sour. It's just not it's not like the puckering like thing. It's more like a slightly tart version of a rosé wine,
It's juicy. It's basically juice for adults. You can drink it out of a sippy cup and you'll feel just as good as if you were drinking out of a teacup glass. And once again, out of all the sours we've had, this is now my number one. So for future breweries, top this.
Bang! Exclamation point!
Damn. Gauntlet thrown.
I wish I had more. I only have one. Pissed off. Anywho,
well, are you ready for something completely different? Are you ready to take a few sips of water and just
go in
a whole other direction?
This is gonna be. I feel like I should finish this before we start the next one, but who has time for that?
Yeah.
Let's pull a hard 180 and get that second beer.
Okay. So our second beer is the Chromatic Illusion Baltic Porter. Now I feel like we haven't had a porter in a while. We've had some stouts.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't seen a porter in a while. I could be wrong about that, but that's what we're going to. Again, take that rosé sour and put the opposite end of the spectrum. That's where we're going, but I'm excited about it.
This is a very diverse, complete episode, like 100%.
Yeah. We wanted to touch this stuff that's not their typical sort of IPAs, and so that led us to this. It's 6.8% ABV. Beer Advocate has no rating for it. Untapped has it at 3.87. Gabe is showing off the can on YouTube. It's got some sexy and weird can art, which we'll talk about later. Now, if you
look at it closely, it's like an illusion.
See what they did there? This is a collaboration with Threes Brewing. Threes Brewing has, of course, been on the hop. We love them very much, and if you want to hear about Threes Brewing, you can go back and listen to round 55.
Yes, you can.
But this is not about Threes Brewing. This is about modern times and what they did with them. Quote, we started with a wonderfully biscuity base of Pilsner, Munich Type 2, chocolate, pale white wheat, oak, smoked wheat, and midnight wheat with 3 rounds of Hallertau Mittelfrüh, adding touches of spicy bitterness. It's super refreshing, especially for a beer at almost 7% ABV, with a balanced chocolate malt character and a soft touch of smoke on the nose. That's a lot of malts. That's a lot of different malts.
Fine with me when they had me at the touch of smoke. I love when like food and drink has that smoky, almost like not bacony, but you know what direction I'm headed in. Like that kind of flavor is like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, like smoked meat.
like smoked meat, or like if you like a nice smoked like Scotch, like on the rocks.
That peat, yeah. So I'm drinking it out of a pint glass, and it's on the SRM chart. I would put it more 39. I mean, there is a little, like towards the bottom, there's a little glow. Like you can kind of see it's pretty black, but it's got some see-through ends to it. There's sort of a reddish hue on the outside.
I've got just like the classic beer mug, and for me, it's just a straight 40. But I do see where you're coming from. Nice, like a centimeter inch thick. Centimeter thick head. It's got that tan head. It kind of from a distance might look like a Guinness. It is not.
It actually, to me, it looked more like Coca-Cola. It's a little tanner than Guinness.
Oh, yeah.
Guinness is sort of like off-white, and this is a little, at least for me, it was a little tanner than that, and it really was so like fizzy and sort of stringy that it really looked like Coca-Cola. And then it doesn't have too much retention, but it lasts as sort of a ring around the glass here, as you can kind of see.
Yeah, it starts that way, and then it like kind of drips down the glass. But it looks
black
very
as
good.
the Baltic Sea.
Black as the Baltic Sea. Amen. Yeah, I don't remember the last time we had a porter, to be quite honest. So this is fun, and I will say this: and I'll get into this in a little bit, but half the reason I grabbed this.
I know.
It was just too good.
I want to touch on the name because we were talking about the names of their beers before, and a Chromatic Illusion is a musical illusion that they are referencing. It's a super weird and trippy thing. It was discovered by Diana Deutsch.
Sorry.
I was trying so hard to not do that.
No, I was trying hard to do it.
It was first published in 1987 in Audio Magazine. She is a University of California psychologist, or was. I don't know if she's still around. Miss Deutsch, thank you for your contribution to science. But look it up. There's videos on YouTube, and basically what it is it's a chromatic scale. So if you're not familiar with music, that's when you hit every note on the way down or up. So every flat and sharp, you kind of go chromatically from tone to tone. So it's a chromatic scale that ranges over 2 octaves, and it kind of repeats over and over and over again in ascending and descending form at the same time. So the tones kind of bounce back and forth in your ear. It's sort of like this doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. It sounds very trippy, very like aliens gonna come out of the wall. It's a super weird illusion. It's very trippy to listen to.
Oh, God.
But that's what this beer is named after. I'm not sure what that has to do with utopias.
So, should we be listening to music and or that while drinking this? Is that against the rules? Are we doing it wrong?
I listened to that illusion for about a minute before we started recording this, and that's about as much as I can handle. It's a lot.
Say no more.
It's a lot on the ears.
Well, speaking, getting away from the ears and getting on the nose, chocolate, malty, roasted, all those fun things. Little bit of hoppiness, though. At 6.8%, I would expect that, but I don't think it was the first thing I was looking for, and I am smelling a little like, oh yeah, there's some booze in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say definitely it's pretty clear that the roasted malt comes up. I mean, it's less like, it's not the sort of coffee or espresso thing you sometimes get off a stout. It is much more biscuity. It's much more chocolatey. It's much more that roasted malt character, and there's also a sweetness to it. I would say maybe some honey, maybe some vanilla.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's not like coffee like other stouts are. No, it's got its own little, what am I trying to say? You know, it's got its own little freaking
little thing.
It's got a little thing over there.
But it's also, to your point, there's a little bit of, I don't know if I would call it hoppiness. I don't know if I would call it even booziness, but there is a bite there. There's something there. It's definitely,
let's call it a hidden gem.
Yeah, a nice little surprise. But it's a clean sort of smell. You know, a porter is generally to me, a little bit less powerful flavor-wise than a stout is. It's just a little bit cleaner. I get some cream. I get some like a lot of bread and like pumpernickel bread and things like that.
I've always found that with porters, I feel like they're more flavorful than stouts. I mean, I guess it depends on which one, but I mean, I don't know. I've always found that porters, they kind of more often than not, they have their own little spin on them. You know, it's like pumpkin porter, like, you know, I've seen like peanut butter porter, like stuff like that. There's always a little spin on it.
Pumpkin porter.
Yeah, I've seen it somewhere.
I felt a stir in my loins. I'm excited.
Gird your loins.
Okay, let's taste it. Let's see what we're working with.
Here we go. So I am getting a hint of espresso. It's not as strong as other stouts would be. It's got a lot of that roasted maltiness to it, though. It is very full in the mouth, I would say. It's got a nice carbonation to it. It does kind of taste like a stout to me, to be quite honest. It's not a bad thing, but I don't think that's what I was expecting right away.
Yeah, it's got a lot of smoke. I mean, it's sort of surprising how much, because there's all of that roasted malt, all those different, you know, oak smoked wheat, midnight wheat, plus the Hallertau hops in there. I mean, they say a touch of smoke on the nose. I didn't get a lot of smoke on the nose, but I got a lot of smoke in the mouth. It's got the chocolate and, like you said, coffee notes are there. There is a sweetness up front. I definitely get toffee. I definitely get a little bit of caramel. Don't get as much vanilla in the mouth as I did on the nose.
Yeah, no.
But if I had to put a sort of defining character on it, I think the back end is what defines it for me, because it's this like burnt sugar, burnt popcorn, pumpernickel bread, oats and nuts and oak in the back, lingering, staying with you.
100%. I don't think I'm getting a lot of smoke, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's just me, but I am getting a more of what you just said. Not so much chocolate, but definitely like the toffee-ness. Definitely a lot, you know, a lot of the roasted malts and whatnot. But I think for me, I think I need to take my time sipping this. Not that it's hard to drink or anything, but just like it's very just like it's full. Like you might want to take your time with this.
It's intense. Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially coming off that rosé, which, you know, we had water, we cleared the palate, like we didn't just bounce back to back, but
yeah, oof.
It is a hard 180 from that. It's very robust. It's very full-bodied. In the mouth, I think it's pretty dry, but it's crisp. It's not as creamy as I thought it was going to be.
I wouldn't say it's creamy at all.
No.
To be honest with you, I think it's just very... it's a specific type of taste. I think if you are a coffee drinker, you'll love this. I think for those people who hate coffee, I feel just so sorry for you. But, you know, I think I hate to make this comparison, but it's the only thing I can really think of. I think if you don't like coffee, you probably won't like this.
I just don't. For me, and you know, this is everyone's experience is different, right? For me, I just do. Coffee is just not what's lingering with me on this. It's really like, it's like burnt, it's char, it's burnt bread, it's burnt popcorn. And I like those flavors, so I like that. But
right. I mean, I'm getting that. I'm getting a lot more espresso coffee than I would thought I would and would like to, just in this specifically. But yeah. I am getting the burnt popcorn, as you say. I just think that.
If you don't like those sort of bitter, sort of, call it smoky, call it burnt, call it coffee, call it whatever you want. If you don't like that kind of bitterness, which is not a hop bite bitterness, it's a different kind of roasted bread yeast bitterness. If you don't like that, this is going to be pretty unpleasant for you, because this is intense on that.
Yeah.
Like more than most beers I've ever had.
This puts hair on your chest. But it's really good. I like it. You know,
Yeah, I
solid.
think I would say if I was to rank the two, I would put the sour on top. And I don't think I've ever said that before.
Yeah.
The sour is just so surprisingly delicious. This beer is great, but very specific to a certain kind of, drinker. That sour is like, go out and get your hands on the Fruitlands Rosé sour if you can, or the
Please
regular
do.
sour, honestly.
Yeah, I would do the same. I'd do rosé, sour, and then this. Not to say that this is bad, not to say that it didn't tickle my fancy, if you will, but yeah, it's just that rosé is just something else. It's out of this world, man.
Yeah, dude. All right.
So,
Well, flavor is one thing, but can art is a whole other thing, and we have a resident in-house expert to help us out with that.
Can Art and Crafts.
damn right, expert. I love art and I love cans. And that's what we're doing here. All right, I'll stop being aggressive. Okay, so can number 1, the Rosé. Very basic can art that Modern Times has. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but it's great. They've got the logo, Modern Times beer, written in cursive. It's very elegant and classy. It works really well. The can is fully pink with different shades of pink. It's pretty straight up and straightforward. This is basically the color of what you'll be drinking. So it's very nice. But again, I grabbed this because this did stand out to me. I'm a big fan of the big, bright, bold, beautiful colors that cans can provide sometimes. We had one last week with the golden ale and the green can. This one, we got the rosé and the pink can. So that's the first one. The second one we got, oh baby, this thing is wild. This thing looks like a optical illusion. Like it's got all these like lines, all different colors. I gotta take these glasses out to see. We got some silver, we got some red, we got some pink, we got some gold, we got some black. Like it looks like an illusion. You know those illusions where you stare at something for a while and then you stare at the back of your hand and it looks like your hand's moving? Like, I feel like this can will do it to me. And again, another reason why I grabbed this. 1, because of the can. 2, because it's a Baltic Porter and it looked incredible. But one of the reasons why I grabbed this was because the can was so dope. So, great can arts and crafts. I think the brewery did very well. There are other cans that the brewery has that aren't as big, bold, beautiful colors. So I think for these, they went kind of the extra mile. I'm going to give the Rosé a 5 out of 6, and I'm going to give the Optical Illusion 4 gold stars. And that is another edition of Cans Arts and Crafts. Bob Ross is here. He loves it. He prefers the Rosé as well because he makes good decisions.
I don't know why that segment has gotten so aggressive over time, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I love it. I don't know why I have a better ranking system. I just don't. I don't know, man.
Anyway, what else can you get from Modern Times? You can get a lot. You can get hard seltzer. They do make their own. They have a whole lineup, and you can see their whole 2021 beer calendar. They call it their calendar of dankness. Love it on their website. So the all years, I've mentioned a few of them. They have these sort of this IPA series. They've got the Blazing World, which is a Nelson IPA that they call dank, and I love that. See, when you see dank in relation to an IPA, what you're talking about is a West Coast IPA.
Yeah.
That's what I love. That's my thing. They also have the Orderville, which is a hazy mosaic IPA, so if that's your thing, you can get that too. They have the Fruitlands year-round, there you go, Tropical Fruit Goza. See? Come on, Steven, getting things. There you go. The hop with Gabe and Steven. We nailed it. We didn't know. Maybe we should have known.
We probably should have known. Reaching back to their seltzers real quick, you know me, I'm not the biggest seltzer guy, but I will say some of these flavors are different and interesting. They've got grapefruit, cucumber lime, tangerine fiesta, and cloudberry dream, and these can arts and crafts look incredible, and I wish we had one of these so I could talk about it, but sounds really great, looks really great. They've got a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, a lot of IPAs and hazy IPAs, and they have some special releases that will be coming out. They're doing a hazy IPA series this year, so you can look forward to those, and variations on their Fruitlands. They've got a strawberry limeade that they're going to be doing, And then they've got a Giga Zapper coming out in July, which is a West Coast DIPA. I will be racing back to California to get my hands on that this summer. And it looks delicious. And so all of that's available.
And as we mentioned, they've got coffee. I'm looking at Devil's Suggestion barrel-aged Black House coffee beans. Come on!
Bang! Exclamation point!
That sounds incredible. I love coffee. They've got all different stuff. Bourbon barrel-aged Peru, Colombia, Wantas. Like, they've got all this different stuff. Like, you can get beer, you can get coffee, you can get seltzer, you can get all of them.
Yeah, they have so many different blends. So check
I'm
out.
not sober.
Well, we have one more thing to do before we wrap this up.
Last call.
It is last call. We always like to end on a fun topic, and we are going behind the scenes at the happiest place on earth, Gabe.
Disney!
I love Disney. I haven't been to Disney in forever, but I do love it there. And we found a couple stories this week that caught our eye related to Disney. So Disney has, like, I don't know if you're familiar with behind the scenes at Disney, but there's a lot of interesting sort of behind the scenes things that make these parks work.
Yeah.
For instance, the tunnel system below, I think everyone kind of knows about that. It's kind of, pretty infamous.
Yeah.
There was a story in the British magazine or newspaper, The Mirror, about what they call Go Away Green. It's a paint style that Disney uses. And if you've been to Disney, you'll know this. Like, when you see the paint, you'll be like, oh yeah, I see that everywhere. It's a paint color that is this, like, sea green kind of color that they use to paint.
Seafoam green.
Yeah, and they use it to paint anything at Disney that they deem unseemly. These are things like light posts and trash cans and things of that nature. Stuff that Disney doesn't want you to think exists. So I
will say though, like it is very easy to miss. Like, it is a good kind of like marketing tool, if you will. I mean, if you don't want people to look at something, just paint it that color. It just kind of blends into the background almost.
Apparently, there's a second paint color too called No-Seum Gray, which they use for the same thing. So if you see these things painted in these sort of like faded colors, you know, even entire buildings, like I don't know what entire building they would paint it in, but apparently they do. I don't know if that's like the offices. That's like where the receptionist works. They don't want you going. They don't want you knowing it's there.
Poor receptionist, just trying to make a living.
There's a whole documentary about it though. There's a documentary that basically purported that this shade of green was found to be least appealing to people, so they put it on things they wanted to keep people away from. They had psychologists and analysts determining that people hate this color and won't look at it, so they put it on.
That's too much. That's crazy. It works and it's effective, but like, who has the time to sit there and go, okay, what do people hate? You know what I mean?
Let's paint our park with it. But that's not even what really bothered me. Because in the same newspaper, there was another story about Disney, which I found deeply disturbing.
Was there.
It's a small world. Now, listen, you hate it, I hate it. It's a place you go when you need a nap. Maybe you're an adult with kids. Maybe you got kids and you just need everyone to sit down and you just need 5 minutes to check your phone. Let's go on It's a Small World. The ride sucks. It's barely a ride, but it's a song that just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Forever. It's so long.
Great message of unity amongst the countries, but outside of that, really a shitty ride. But apparently the dolls in there are a little bit more alive than they should be, which is deeply disturbing. So there was a TikTok user that found this out, right? And so basically, long story short, they need haircuts, and that's weird.
Long story short, the hair that they use on these dolls is some sort of yarn that, because of the humidity of Florida, first off, the humidity of Florida is terrible, but the humidity of Florida like makes it grow and expand. So yearly, these fake It's a Small World dolls need legit haircuts. So a woman made a TikTok about it.
Her name is
and
Park Earl on TikTok.
The reactions are insane. It got, I don't even know the number, 650,000 people have watched it, with over 93,000 likes and more than 590 comments, some of which include, "I didn't need to know this. Why did you do this to me? They, what? And my favorite, I could have gone my entire life without knowing this, and I would have been fine."
Yeah, it sparked a lot of outrage. The TikTok user was she's gone viral now because she shared this, and she's apparently they need haircuts once a year, which, I mean, can you imagine being the person that has to go in there and give haircuts to these dolls?
To these fake ass dolls?
I'd be like, I'd cover their eyes.
Yeah, I feel like there's like hidden cameras in it. Like, It's a Small World song is the song that gets like you have nightmares about.
Apparently also unrelated, but apparently even at night when that ride's turned off, they continue to dance. They can't shut it off.
What? Why?
I don't know why.
What?
I have no idea, but that's what I've read. That's what I'm reading. As people dig into the It's a Small World attraction, apparently they continue to dance all night and party every day.
That's not normal. That's not okay.
Can you imagine, like, if you went in, you're like an employee who forgot something in there, and you have to go in, and there's just dancing dolls in the dark.
It's a small world after.
I don't know if they keep singing, but I know they keep dancing.
I'd be terrified. I'd be like, "What's moving? Oh my god!" Every time I've gone to Disney, my mom has always asked for one thing and one thing only. She said, "I don't care what we do all day, every day, but we're doing It's a Small World." And so I've had to sit through it multiple times. I haven't been to Disney in a while, but the times where I've gone on vacation with the fam, It's a Small World. My family, we're in line. You'll find us. Check the tape. We're there. And like I said, it's just, it's just one of those rides where it's like, all right, let's just get this over with, and we can go.
It's just like if the heat's getting to you and you just need some AC and a rest of your legs. Like if you're getting older and you just need to sit down, get in a boat, and but even the song is maybe if you went in there with like noise canceling headphones and just kept riding it, you just needed to sit down.
You're playing like old school hip hop, and you're just seeing all these little toys dancing. Like that might be cool.
But I just can't, like, if I was the person who had to cut their hair, I would cover their eyes while I did it. Like, don't look at me. This is how many people does it take? Are they on a schedule? Like every month they cut, one country's worth of hair, or do they like do the whole attraction at once?
I just assume that they put names in a hat, and whoever they pick, it's like, all right, Tony, you got to do it this month or this year, and he's like, damn it, like or what would be funny is they make the new hires do it. It's like, you got to pay dues, and you want to work at Disney, go cut some hair. And they're like, all right, where? It's a Small World. It's like, no, please don't let me go.
They got a calendar in the back, doll hair cutting schedule.
Oh, that's so creepy. Why? You'd think they'd have a better system at this point. Hey, this stuff's growing. Let's get some other stuff here.
Let's make it out of, I don't know what wouldn't grow. I didn't know that yarn could grow, to be honest.
I didn't know that either.
Because that's an inanimate object, and I don't understand that either.
Humidity does weird things, man.
That's why it's unnatural. You shouldn't be living in that. See, that's why LA is the best heat, because it's not humid. It's a nice arid heat. It's not desert. It's just perfect.
We get it. You want to go back there.
And I will very soon. To get my hands on that West Coast DIPA from Modern Times Brewing, which is coming out in July. Until then, we've got great beers to sip on. This porter was delicious and very, very smoky. And this sour was something else.
This sour, this smoke, everything. Another great episode. Modern Times, thank you so much. We finally got you your own episode. We love you guys. We love your beer. We hope to do more beers in the future because, as Steven said, they've got so many more beers. Maybe when I come visit you again in LA, we'll go to the brewery and have a good time.
And eat some vegan food. Until then, we will be back next Thursday with another round of The Hop. Guys, like, follow, subscribe. Thank you for joining us. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we will see you next week.
Love each other. Drink good beer. Be nice to one another. I love you, Helen McRory. Take care, guys.
Cheers.